Antibiotics can often cause more harm than good, and doctors hand them out like candy from a white van. And most people walk away with a prescription and zero information about what those pills are and what they're doing to their body and their gut. So I'm going to show you the exact protocol I use to protect myself against and repair from antibiotic damage, plus when you might be able to avoid antibiotics altogether. I'm going to walk you through what antibiotics really do to your gut microbiome, when your doctor might be prescribing ones that you don't need. We'll talk about the herbal alternatives that work for non-emergency situations, and the step-by-step protocol I run personally and for all my clients during and after every course of antibiotics. So if you've ever taken them, or you've got IBS, Crohn's, colitis, recurring infections, or food sensitivities that started after a round, or you're taking them coming up soon, or you might need them in the future, this video is absolutely for you. And I want to let you know you can also get my free Gut 911 guide that pairs with everything in this video to give you fast relief in your gut no matter the condition. You can grab that for free below in the description. So without further ado, if we haven't met yet, my name is Josh Deck. I'm a gut disease specialist and researcher with over 10 years of experience, and this is what you need to know about antibiotics. I want you to think about taking antibiotics kind of like nuking an entire continent to catch one bad guy. They kill the infection, but the problem is they obliterate the good bacteria that keep you healthy at the same time. There was a 2018 study in Nature Microbiology that showed even a short course of broad-spectrum antibiotics left a long-lasting imprint on the gut microbiome, leaving some of the most important bacteria, like bifidobacterium, depleted and often very slow to return. There was also a 2007 study that showed antibiotic damage can persist in your gut for years, and another confirmed that some species of bacteria never come back at all. And that matters because up to 70% of your immune system lives in your gut, meaning that yes, every round of antibiotics, it will clear your infection, but it also weakens the system that's supposed to prevent the next infection and keep the bad bacteria out of your gut. Here's what most people don't know. The CDC estimates that nearly 1/3 of all antibiotic prescriptions in the US are completely unnecessary. They're often given for things like sinus infections, sore throats, ear infections, bronchitis, any of which are viral. And which means antibiotics actually do nothing for the infection, but they still do all the damage to your gut and your body. And so before you fill any prescription, you have to ask your doctor these 3 questions. Number 1, did you culture it to confirm it's bacterial? Number 2, is this antibiotic the right match? And 3, is it safe to watch and wait? Because unless it's a life-threatening infection, those questions are very much worth asking. Now, for non-emergency situations, there are very powerful herbals that don't nuke the rest of your gut, like Biocidin LSF. It's actually a powerful product designed for biofilms and gut dysbiosis, and it's even used for systemic infections, often with results not dissimilar to oral antibiotics. They also make one called Biocidin Liquid, which gets into your gut and works more in the gut than the rest of the system. There's also oregano oil, which has been studied for everything from H. pylori to candida. Monolaurin, garlic extract, and olive leaf are some of the tools that I'll use with my clients. And there's way more like thyme and clove and you name it. But none of these are a substitute for life-saving antibiotics when you need them. But for low-grade, chronic infections or recurring stuff, they often do the job without the damage to your gut. Now, when antibiotics are necessary, here's the exact protocol that I run on myself. A few months ago, I actually did this when I had to take a run of amoxicillin for an ear infection. It was really nasty. Now, it's broken up into 3 phases: before, during, and after antibiotics. We'll go through the 4 weeks after and the 16-week rebuilding phase. Now, the reason it's structured into 3 phases is that the damage happens really quickly from the antibiotics, but that repair phase happens slowly and takes time. And most people stop that protective work the moment the prescription stops, which is exactly why the rebuilding phase should be going on after that. Now, phase 1 recurs while you're on the antibiotics, usually 7 to 10 days for a typical run. I'll use 400 billion CFU, that's colony-forming units, or more, if you can tolerate it, of a broad lactobacillus and bifidobacterium probiotic, and I take them 2 hours before and after every single antibiotic dose, so the antibiotics and the probiotics aren't in your gut at the same time. Now, if you do take them together, the antibiotic kills the probiotic before it can really do anything for you. But I had tested taking probiotic-rich fermented food with antibiotics, sort of like cannon fodder, if you will, and I found that it didn't inhibit the antibiotics work at all, at least in my personal experience. Now, there was a 2012 JAMA meta-analysis that also confirmed that taking probiotics around antibiotics reduces antibiotic-associated diarrhea by nearly 50%. Also, unless you are yeast sensitive or have bowel disease with what's called ASCA antibodies, these are anti-Saccharomyces cerevisiae antibodies, you'll also want to add Saccharomyces boulardii. That's another yeast probiotic, 500 milligrams morning and night. Now, because it's a yeast, not a bacteria, antibiotics don't kill it, which means you can take it while you're on the antibiotic and it keeps working throughout the whole course of it. A 2015 systemic review confirmed that it prevents antibiotic-associated diarrhea in both adults and children. And then I'll also add 1 tablespoon of raw fermented coconut milk, which gives you 1 trillion or more colony-forming units in a single bite, or raw kefir or something fermented, which can give you 100 million or more. And I take these with each dose to keep the beneficial microbes coming in through food, not just supplements, because they're also much more expensive than food most of the time. Now, for the gut lining, I also take a blend of slippery elm, marshmallow root, aloe, and L-glutamine 3 times a day to keep that protective mucus layer intact while the antibiotic's doing its work. Because antibiotics, they damage your bacteria, your gut lining, and we can't forget about your mitochondria. This is the part in the protocol that nobody really covers. There was a 2013 study that showed that bactericidal antibiotics actually damage human mitochondria function directly, which is why you feel exhausted or foggy or weak and kind of crashed out a few weeks after a course of antibiotics, because they literally hit the energy producers in your cells. Mitochondria support morning and night with things like PQQ plus CoQ10 for cellular energy. You can take a methylated B vitamin complex for the cofactors and RALA, that's R-alpha lipoic acid for the antioxidant load. And this is the difference between bouncing back in like a week or less or dragging on for 3 months. And just a quick reminder, the free Gut 911 guide that I mentioned earlier helps set up your gut for success no matter the condition, antibiotics or otherwise. You can get the link for that. It's free to download in the description below. Now, phase 2 of my protocol is for the 4 weeks immediately after antibiotics finish. And this is your intensive rebuild window. I'll use a minimum of 200 billion CFUs of a broad strain probiotic twice a day containing lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, and ideally spore formers like Bacillus coagulans for a total of 400 billion CFU a day or more if you can actually tolerate it. Some people can do 1 trillion or more. We'll be continuing Saccharomyces boulardii, if you're not sensitive, 200 to 500 milligrams up to twice a day, raw fermented coconut milk, 3 tablespoons a day, and like a raw kefir or something else at 2 to 3 tablespoons a day in lieu of or addition to if you can tolerate it. Again, keep the same mitochondrial and gut lining stack that you ran during the antibiotics. We're just really hitting it harder with the probiotics now afterward. Now, phase 3, this is a 16-week maintenance window. Now, I dropped the probiotics down to about 200 billion once or twice a day, Saccharomyces to 250 milligrams once a day, and then fermented coconut milk or kefir 1 to 3 tablespoons a day. Now, the reason why 16 weeks matters is that the microbiome doesn't fully stabilize in a single month. Those slow-growing keystone species, your bifidos and lactose, they're the ones that do the long-term work, like making short-chain fatty acids, regulating inflammation. They can take months and months to come back. And so this is the long tail of recovery and the phase that most people actually skip, which is exactly why so many people's guts never come back after just 1 course of antibiotics. You have to hedge against it. And one more thing. While you rebuild, you have to feed the new bacteria that you're putting in. This means, again, if you tolerate them, organic prebiotic-rich foods like asparagus, berries, garlic, onions, leeks, green bananas, because without prebiotic fiber, those new strains don't typically have what they need to actually colonize and grow and be there long-term. Now let's pull back for a second and remind you that you only get sick for 3 reasons. There's toxins, microbes, and deficiencies. Now antibiotics are toxins and microbe disruptors at the same time, which means they leave you deficient because your damaged gut can't absorb the nutrients properly and your mitochondria are damaged. And this protocol here works so well because it addresses all 3 things in parallel. It helps rebuild the microbes, it supports the gut lining so the microbes can grow and you can absorb your nutrients again, and it replaces the mitochondrial cofactors that your body needs to function. Toxins, microbes, deficiencies. Address all 3 and you can actually fully recover. Now, if you have IBS, Crohn's, colitis, or had multiple rounds of antibiotics over the years and your gut never really came back, this protocol is something to consider speaking to your healthcare provider about, or reach out to me and my team. But it's not a substitute for proper testing or working with a specialist who understands chronic gut disease, but it is the foundation of everything else that builds on. And Now you know. If you want help getting your gut to recover from any condition, remember my free Gut 911 guide is in the description below. And for more videos like this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday-ish, make sure to subscribe. Now, if you're somebody who prefers to listen on the go, I've got something else for you. There's 2 podcasts. The first is Reversible for all things health related. The second is Reversing Crohn's and Colitis Naturally for those of you who need something more specific.